Previously on Keeper of Hearts, hearts are breaking, loyalties are tested, and whispers from the unseen press in close. Ashley faces Jezebel and Dean's manipulations, caught between what she wants and what she should choose. Jay struggles with Lexi's bold moves while trying to keep his connection to Shannon and navigate Selena's jealousy. Jordan and Ambryelle move closer, daring the chaos of the party to bend around them. Everyone's choices are about to collide. Seen the moment of choice. Existing Ashley phone Jezebel moment intact. Ashley quiet steadying. I can walk away. I can let him go. The answer comes too fast. Jezebel, you could. A beat. Jezebel, but will you survive it? That lands hard. Ashley presses her palm to her chest. Ashley, don't want to be like my mom. Silence, then softer than ever, then don't be. Ashley turns sharply. Ashley, then why does it feel like I'm being pushed into something I don't want? For the first time, Jezebel hesitates. Jezebel, because you're standing at the edge of becoming. Ashley shakes her head. That sounds like manipulation. A pause. Honest, almost tired. All influence feels like manipulation when you're afraid. Ashley exhales shakily. She looks down at her phone again. Another notification lights up. A message. Hey, I know today was a mess. I just wanted to check on you. Ashley freezes. Her thumb hovers over the screen. Behind her, the air feels heavy. Waiting. Dean, soft, convincing. Jay is so sweet to me, even when he doesn't have to be. Maybe Jay really does love me. Maybe she's right. Ashley swallows, looks at Jay's name, looks back at the paused image of Jordan. Her phone trembles in her hand. She doesn't reply. She doesn't delete it either. The screen goes dark. Ashley sinks back onto the bed, hugging the phone to her chest. Caught between comfort and desire, truth and temptation. Her whisper barely carries. Ashley, God, please don't let me choose wrong. The room stays silent. Cut to spiritual world, field of shadows. The air is thick, shadows swirling like dark smoke. The field of shadows stretches endlessly, a chaotic battlefield of twisted light and darkness. Jezebel and Dean stand at the center, calm yet tense, sensing their corners closing. Suddenly 3 figures appear descending from the glow above. Michael, Raphael, and Gable. The shadows recoil, flickering. Hell, demon presence, panicked, unseen. They're here! Jezebel stiffens, realizing she's being spiritually cornered. Dean smirks, trying to mask fear. Look, we weren't done yet. Michael steps forward, radiant and firm. Michael, you are under authority now. Jesus himself has called you here. This is not your field. Raphael spreads his wings, light cutting through the shadows. Step aside, Jezebel. Dean, your schemes end tonight. Gable's presence hums with authority, a silent warning. The shadows writhe, hissing, trying to find escape. Jezebel, calm, still coaxing but cornered. You don't understand. It's not that simple. Michael, it is simple. You are in a place you do not control. You were called here. Obey the one who sent us, or be contained. Dean flinches, realizing the tide has shifted. Hell, demon presence. Run! She called on him. She called on him. The shadows around Jezebel and Dean shrink, their confidence faltering as the angels advance. The shadows churn violently now, folding in on themselves as light presses from every direction. Dean takes 1 step back, then another. His smirk cracks. Nope, this wasn't the deal. He turns and runs, dissolving into the shadows, fleeing deeper into the field. The darkness recoils where he vanishes. Silence. Jezebel remains, cornered, composed, eyes darting. Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel stand firm, unmoved. Jezebel exhales sharply, then lifts her hand slightly, defensive, almost offended. Wait. Look, this wasn't even my idea. Michael doesn't blink. It was Stephen's. He wanted pressure. I was just managing the situation. Michael steps forward. The light intensifies. Michael, you don't think we know that? Jezebel falters, just for a second. Ashley's free will matters. She asked for help. That is why we are here. Jezebel's tone shifts, wounded now, almost childish. Jezebel, why are you all being so mean to me? What did I even do? Gabriel lets out a sharp, incredulous breath. Are you serious? Jezebel's eyes flash, irritation bleeding through the act. She's a sinner. Raphael steps forward instantly. We don't want to hear it. The shadows around Jezebel begin to pull away from her, no longer responding. Leave. Jezebel looks around, realizing she has no ground left to stand on. For the first time, there's fear. She straightens, mask slipping. Jezebel, this isn't over. Michael, for tonight it is. The light surges. Jezebel is forced back, the field of shadows rejecting her presence as she vanishes into the darkness. Not victorious, not in control. Just gone, the field settles. Michael turns slightly, listening. Not to the shadows, but beyond them. She chose to ask. Raphael nods. Raphael, that matters. Gabriel looks toward the human world, toward Ashley, Gabriel. And the night isn't finished. Scene, Jay and Shannon, night. Jay sits on the edge of the couch, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor like it might answer him. A soft knock. Before he can speak, the door opens. Shannon steps in, closing it quietly behind her. Her heart races, her eyes never leave his. Jay, Lo, Shannon, you shouldn't be here. Shannon, I know, but I couldn't let Lexi hurt you. Jay exhales shakily, rubbing his face. Jay, I almost crossed a line tonight. With everything that's happened, Cutting him off softly. You stopped. He looks at her, a mixture of relief and longing in his eyes. Barely. Shannon steps closer, voice gentle, steady. Shannon. You're not your brother, Jay. You're someone who's been hurt, and I care. Jay swallows hard. You don't even know what you're walking into with me. Shannon, I know enough. She reaches out, brushing her fingers against his hand. Jay doesn't move away. He stands, closing the small space between them. He cups her face, touch trembling slightly. Jay, this isn't... I know. He kisses her. She freezes for half a heartbeat, then melts into him. Breaths hitch. Hands slide over shoulders and waist. Shannon bites her lip, tangled in his hair. Jay tilts her slightly, pressing her closer. Her back arches against him, thighs brushing his hips. She lets out a soft laugh, shivering. He lifts her effortlessly onto the kitchen counter, lips trailing down her neck. Jay, please. Her pants slip down in a teasing tumble. Her panties remain. Jay's shirt slips to the floor, their bodies pressed together, skin-to-skin closeness. The kitchen heat wrapping around them. Shannon's fingers dig into his back. She leans closer, whispering his name again, almost like a plea. Shannon, Jay, don't stop. I want you. Jay groans low in response, caught between desire and hesitation. Then, footsteps on tile. Grandma Darlene. Church was great tonight, have you heard? What's going on in here? They freeze. Shannon's cheeks flare crimson. She scrambles to adjust herself. Jay's jaw tightens, eyes wide, hands fumbling to cover just enough. Grandma Darlene steps fully into the kitchen, hands on hips, eyebrows arched. Grandma, die. I don't even want to know. But I think you two need clothes. Now! This is my house. You two know better. You're bringing the devil in my house. Jay grand, Grandma Darlene. Don't grandma me. Y'all are being too hot to trot. Shannon stifles a giggle, burying her face in Jay's chest. Jay groans, half mortified, half amused. The kitchen, once their private haven, is now a stage for the most awkward comedy in their lives.
Yeah, keep her hearts. He meets you in the broken places, right there where your shame begins. He sits beside the sinners, never waiting for perfection, never asking you to pretend. The world points fingers, but his hands reach far. Grace isn't earned by the spotless, it's poured on wounded hearts. Jesus, keeper of hearts, you take me as I am, not who I try to be. You carried every burden, took the cross they said you never need. Though the hypocrites cried, crucified, your mercy still ran free. We can do all things through Christ. You're the keeper of hearts, and you're keeping me.
Scene. Jordan and Ambryelle. Party continues. The music slowed, the bass deep and heavy. Jordan and Ambryelle found themselves in the middle of the floor, bodies close, moving together like they owned the space. Richard! Yeah! That's how you do it, Jordan. Record this! She's destroying him with those moves. Ambryelle leaned into Jordan, hand sliding along his chest, smirk teasing. Am playful. Don't get distracted by the cheerleaders. Jordan. Distracted? Never. She spun in his arms, letting her dress flare, then pressed back against him, lips brushing his ear. I hope you can handle this. Jordan tilted her chin up and kissed her, slow, teasing. Richard. Damn! That's what I'm talking about! Ambryelle laughed softly, tilting her head, eyes glittering with mischief. Yeah, her hands slid up to Jordan's neck, pulling him closer. Jordan, murmuring against her lips, You're insane. Insanity's overrated. I prefer chaos. She pressed a sharp kiss to his lips, then pulled back just enough to make him chase her. Jordan grabbed her hand, spinning her into his chest, lips pressing against hers again. Keep up, Jordan, or fall behind. I don't wait for anyone. Jordan, grinning, voice low, pulse racing. Try me. The music, lights and crowd became nothing more than background. Jordan and Ambryelle moved together, teasing, daring, electric, untouchable in their own private chaos. Eric, from the corner, This is legendary, look at them go! Richard, raising his cup again, Someone get a slow-mo on this, they're killing it! Ambryelle leaned close, lips brushing his in a fleeting kiss, eyes alight with mischief. Whispering, teasing, Not fast enough yet, you're going to have to earn every inch. Jordan grinned, heat coiling low, pulse hammering. Then I'll make sure you remember it. They danced, kissed and laughed through the crowd, daring anyone to notice. And even with the party erupting around them, their world was theirs alone. Scene, spiritual world, field of shadows party overlook. Dean stumbles through the shadowed edges of the field, panicked, heading toward a familiar presence. A figure waits, leaning casually in a glowing corner. Lust, smirking knowingly. Dean. Lust, we have a problem. Big one. Lust, oh. Do tell. I was hoping for some excitement tonight. Stephen, he's not going to be happy about this. Jezebel got cornered, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, the works, the whole plan. Lust. Ah, let Jezebel deal with the fallout. She's got that flair for drama, don't she? Dean, no, Lust. She named him to Michael. It's serious. Oh, Satan's going to be furious at both of them, truly. But come on, Dean. Let's focus. Humans. Let's deal with them first. Dean hesitates, frustration and panic mixing. Lust's smirk grows wider, almost playful, almost dangerous. Humans. Right, of course. That'll fix everything. Lust. Exactly. Let's stir the temptation where it matters. Let the big players squabble. Humans, they're far more fun. Dean swallows hard, looking over the distant glow of the party below. What about the girl? Lust, softly, almost a whisper. She's not keeping a sober mind tonight. Besides her, Jordan already fed their flesh. Dean thing, slightly incredulous. Well, Stephen just keeps having a bad night. He doesn't want them around each other, but I'm finding it entertaining. Lust steps closer, hand brushing the air like a conductor drawing power from the temptation. Lust, soft, commanding. Now, go. Make it messy. Give those humans a night of bad choices. Dean nods, disappearing into the shadows toward the party below, leaving Lust watching, amused and calculating. Scene, party, Isaac and Lisa in bedroom. The music hums faintly from downstairs, a muted pulse through the walls. Isaac leans back against the bed frame, catching his breath. Lisa sits beside him, hair slightly tousled, a playful sparkle in her eyes. Lisa, that was amazing. You're a lot of fun, Isaac. Thanks. I had a great time too. Honestly, you make it easy to have fun. Lisa leans a little closer, laughter soft, eyes warm. Lisa, easy, huh? That's one way to put it. I could get used to nights like this. Isaac, matching her energy. Me too. Honestly, it's nice. Just being here, no drama, no pressure. They share a look, comfortable, teasing, yet charged with something unspoken. Lisa, softly. You're really different from everyone else tonight. I like that. Good different or bad different? Definitely good different. Isaac smiles, brushing a stray strand of hair from her face. The faint sound of the party below drift through the closed door, but up here it feels like a quiet world all their own. Isaac, I think we should just enjoy this. No thinking, no overanalyzing, just this moment. Lisa nods, eyes glimmering. Lisa, just this moment. They lean back on the bed side by side, letting the closeness and laughter fill the room. The night stretches ahead, full of possibilities, temptation and choices waiting downstairs. Scene: Tiffany's house. Lexi knocked on the familiar front door, shifting her weight from one foot to the other. When Tiffany answered, her friend's face was already creased with concern. "Tiffany, did you get up with Jordan?" Tiffany stepped aside to let her in. Lexi, forcing a casual tone, "No, unfortunately. Can I use your bathroom?" "Girl, sure." Tiffany gestured down the hallway, then added, "I saw him with a girl on Facebook." Lexi, "Yeah, I know. At a party. He's such a male whore." She closed the bathroom door behind her and leaned against the sink, staring at her reflection. Her fingers gripped the cool porcelain edge as conflicting thoughts battled in her mind. Jay. The name echoed in her head. She hadn't expected him to be so different from what she'd assumed. There was something about him, something that drew her in despite everything. But guilt crashed over her like a wave. Tiffany liked him. Her friend, who was out there right now, trusting her completely. If Tiffany ever found out about that kiss, Lexi's expression hardened as other memories surfaced. Michelle breaking her nose, Shannon, Heather hitting her, all of them, circling like vultures, tearing her down piece by piece, and Jordan, who'd started this whole mess, who was out there with someone else at a party like she meant nothing. Maybe Jay is exactly what I need, she thought darkly. Maybe he's the catalyst to make them all pay attention, to make them all pay. She took a breath, straightening up. Her reflection stared back at her, and for a moment she barely recognized the look in her own eyes. Something harder, something calculated, especially Jordan. He deserves this. Lexi licked her lips, a small, knowing smirk forming. Lexi, softly to herself, "Jay, I didn't know you were such a bad boy. This game is just getting started." A cold whisper brushed the edges of her mind, Stephen's voice, sly, teasing, almost imperceptible. "Good. Let him see you. Let him want what he can't have. Make it messy. Make them notice." Lexi froze for a heartbeat, then exhaled, realizing the thrill wasn't entirely her own. Her grin sharpened, darker, more deliberate. Lexi, whispering, darker now, "Oh, I think I can do that. For him, and for me." Her fingers brushed her hair back. The reflection in the mirror was no longer just Lexi. It was ambition, mischief, and temptation all wrapped into one. The bathroom door creaked behind her. Tiffany's voice called from the hallway. "Tiffany? Lexi? You good in there?" Lexi turned, face still composed, voice smooth. "Lexi, yeah, just thinking." As she stepped out, the smirk lingered. Somewhere in the shadows of her mind, Stephen's laughter echoed faintly, a reminder that tonight the game had only just begun. Scene: Jay's house, living room. Grandma Darlene leans against the doorway, arms crossed, eyes narrowing. The clock on the wall ticks past midnight. Grandma Darlene, "It's late, little girl. What in the world are you even doing here?" Shannon, hesitant, guilty, I'm sorry, Miss Darlene. It was Lexi." Jay opens his mouth, ready to jump in, but Grandma Darlene raises a hand. "Boy, don't you start. Let me finish. I go to church, and you turn my house into a devil's playground." Shannon, "No, it's not like that." Grandma Darlene, "Then what is it? Someone better start talking." Jay exhales, rubbing his neck, then speaks reluctantly. "It's Lexi. She came here looking for Jordan." Grandma Darlene, cutting him off, voice sharp, "So you just let her in my house? Just like that?" "She wouldn't take no for an answer, Grandma." Shannon steps forward, voice firm. "That's why I came. She's trouble." Grandma Darlene studies them both for a long beat, her gaze sharp, calculating. Grandma Darlene. I see. You're telling me everything I need to know, but I still got to figure out how deep this mess really goes." She shakes her head slowly, half exasperated, half protective. "Well, sit down, little girl. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I don't like what I walked in on. Does your mom know where you are?" "Shano, Michelle took me. I texted her. She's picking me up. I was at her house." Grandma Darlene's eyes soften just a fraction, though the concern remains. She gestures toward the couch. "Grandma Darlene, all right, let's figure this out before it gets any messier." Shannon nods, sinking onto the couch, while Jay leans against the armrest, tension still thick in the air. Scene: Ashley's room, night. Ashley sits on the edge of her bed, knees pulled up, staring at the floor. The room feels smaller than usual, shadows stretching across the walls. Her fingers trace the edge of her phone absent-mindedly. Ashley, whispering to herself, "Did that really happen to me? Am I losing my mind? What's going on? Something's not right." A soft knock at the door. Heather. "Ashley? Were you talking to yourself?" Ashley jumping slightly, composing herself. "I was just thinking." Heather steps fully into the room, concern written all over her face. "Look, Ashley, I don't want to get in the middle of anything, but I just don't understand what you're doing. You're not acting like yourself. This stuff with Jay, he doesn't deserve it. He's my friend and you hurt him, really badly." Ashley swallows, staring at her hands. A long pause, heavy with guilt. "Ashley, I know. Look, I care about Jay. I can't explain why I've done the things I did. You're right, I need to fix this." She lifts her phone, glancing at the message from Jay. "Ashley, he checked on me. He didn't have to do that, but he did. He's a good guy. He isn't for me." Heather softens, stepping closer. "Heather Jordan, still on your mind?" Ashley's composure crumbles. Tears streak down her cheeks as she buries her face in her hands. "He's at a party with some girl. Why? Why am I not enough?" Heather sits beside her, wrapping an arm around Ashley's shoulders. Silence fills the room, punctuated only by Ashley's quiet, shuddering breaths. "Ashley, you're not defined by him. You have to start with you first." Ashley lifts her head, eyes red and glassy, staring out the window. For a moment everything feels uncertain, raw and painfully real. Ashley, whispering to herself, I need to make this right. Somehow. Ashley wipes her cheeks, takes a shaky breath and picks up her phone. Her fingers hover over the screen, trembling slightly. With a deep exhale, she begins typing. Ashley's phone, text message. "Thank you for checking on me, Jay. I'm sorry I keep causing you so many problems. I'm sorry that I kissed you. That wasn't fair. I've got a lot going on right now. I just need time to think." She stares at the screen for a moment, her thumb hovering over send, heart pounding. "Ashley, just be honest." Her thumb presses down. The message sends. Ashley sets the phone down, curling back onto the bed. Her eyes glimmer with tears, a mixture of relief and lingering guilt. She hugs her knees, letting herself breathe for the first time in hours. The room is quiet, but the weight of her choices lingers in the air. Outside, faint city noises hum through the window, life continuing, oblivious to the storm inside her. Ashley, softly to herself, I just need to figure out who I am and what I want. Scene: Jay's house. Living room, night. Grandma Darlene's voice is firm but loving as she leans closer to Shannon, who sits tensely on the couch. "Grandma Darlene, Shannon, listen to me. You've got to be careful. There are things you can't take back, choices that can haunt you if you let them. You hear me? You can't just follow your feelings without thinking." "I know, Miss Darlene. I don't want anyone to get hurt." "Grandma Darlene, exactly. That's the right heart, baby. Keep it. Don't lose it. Now, stay steady, okay?" Shannon takes a deep breath, trying to absorb the lesson, but her attention drifts as Jay's phone vibrates on the armrest. He picks it up, frowning at the screen. A new text message lights it up. Phone, text from Ashley. "Thank you for checking on me, Jay. I'm sorry I keep causing you so many problems. I'm sorry that I kissed you. That wasn't fair. I've got a lot going on right now. I just need time to think." Jay's eyes widen slightly. He exhales slowly, reading it again, trying to process the words. His jaw tightens, emotions flickering across his face. Relief, confusion, and a faint twinge of hurt. "Jay, she's thinking about it. She's actually thinking." Shannon glances at him, curiosity mixed with concern. "What is it?" Jay shakes his head, a small, weary smile tugging at his lips. "Jay, it's Ashley. She just texted me. She's being honest." Grandma Darlene eyes him, noticing the subtle change in his demeanor. Honesty is the first step. Now let's see how you both handle it. But you don't need that girl. She was with your brother." Shannon leans closer to Jay, a small, reassuring smile tugging at her lips. "Your grandma's right, Jay. You've got better options." "Yeah, I do." "Shannon, do you want me to take you home?" A soft knock interrupts them at the door. "Jay, I get it." Grandma Darlene frowns slightly, muttering as she shakes her head. Grandma Darlene, I think you've done that too much tonight, letting people in my house." The front door opens and Michelle steps in, eyes scanning the room quickly. Michelle, I'm here for Shannon. Shannon stands, glancing between Jay, Grandma Darlene and Michelle, a mix of gratitude and relief on her face. Grandma Darlene. All right, baby girl, let's get you home before anything else happens tonight. Shannon gives Jay a quick, meaningful glance, a silent promise lingering in the air. Jay. See you tomorrow. Shannon nods, then turns with Michelle toward the door. Grandma Darlene follows, giving Jay a sharp but approving look. Boy, keep that head on straight. No more surprises. Jay exhales, a mix of tension and hope settling over him as the door closes behind them. He leans back against the couch, staring at the quiet room, Ashley's text still fresh in his mind. Scene, Michelle's car, night. The hum of the engine fills the car as Michelle grips the steering wheel, eyes flicking toward Shannon. Shannon sits tensely in the passenger seat, hands clasped in her lap. Michelle. Tell me everything, Shannon. If your mom finds out, she's going to lose it. Shannon, look. If she asks, I went to your house. That's enough. She's going to be pissed enough without knowing I went to Jay's. I got you, but now I need the truth. Spell it out. Shannon, Lexi. She came here looking for Jordan. I was on the phone with Jay when she just showed up like she had some kind of right to be there. If Darlene had been home, it would have been a whole different story. That hood rat. She never quits, does she? So what happened? I don't really know. But, Michelle, but what? Me and Jay, we almost... You joking, right? He said he needed to think about us. Michelle, do you know how long I've wanted Jay? Michelle exhales sharply, glancing at Shannon with a mix of concern and exasperation. Shannon, I get it, but you need to be careful. I don't want you getting hurt. Jay's sweet. He isn't his brother. It's not that I don't like him. I do. But you're my little cousin. I just want you to make sure you don't get burned. Shannon leans back, staring at the city lights flickering past the window, tension thick between desire, worry, and caution. Michelle, don't worry, little cousin. I've got you. But looks like we're going to have to deal with her mouth eventually. Oh, what fun. Shannon exhales, half relieved, half bracing for the chaos that's sure to come. Scene. Jordan and Ambryelle, party heat rises. The music pulsed harder now, a deep, driving beat that made the whole floor move. Jordan and Ambryelle stayed close, bodies brushing, lips occasionally meeting in teasing, fleeting kisses. Every glance, every touch carried weight, dangerous and playful, all at once. Richard raised his cup, voice booming over the bass. Come on, Jordan, don't hold back now. Eric laughed, phone raised, capturing every move. This is insane, look at her go. He's doomed. Ambryelle's fingers traced lightly along Jordan's arm, sending a shiver up his spine. Eyes on me, Jordan. Not them, she whispered teasingly. Jordan smirked, tilting her chin up for a daring kiss. Always. She laughed softly, a dark melodic sound, and pressed close, hip to hip. Their movement became a silent conversation, a spin, a dip, a brush of lips against jaw and temple, daring, intimate, magnetic. Richard whooped. That's it! Teach him how it's done! Eric's phone wobbled in his hands as he laughed. She's teasing him mercilessly. This is gold. Ambryelle leaned closer, lips brushing his ear. Think you can keep up, or are you going to fall behind? Jordan's grin darkened, pulse quickening. Try me, he whispered back. She spun away briefly, letting him catch her, then pressed back into him, lips meeting his again in a long, teasing kiss. He caught her hand, spinning her into a quick dip, eyes locked on hers. Not fast enough. You're going to have to earn every inch, Ambryelle laughed, daring. Jordan leaned down, brushing a kiss along her temple, a low chuckle escaping him. Oh, I plan to. Every inch. The crowd around them cheered, oblivious to the private heat swirling between the two of them. Richard was practically shouting, and Eric was filming like it was the main event. But Ambryelle only smirked at him, eyes full of challenge and promise. Good. Now, show me how much fun this party can get, Ambryelle said teasingly, low. Jordan's grin widened, and he pressed close, spinning her once more, letting the music carry them into their own little chaos, bold, fearless, and unstoppable. Scene, Jordan and Ambryelle, party chaos. Jordan and Ambryelle moved in perfect rhythm, bodies brushing, lips occasionally meeting in teasing, electric kisses. The music pulsed through the room, bass like a second heartbeat, and the crowd's cheers were background noise to their private storm. Don't let him breathe, Ambryelle. Show him who's boss, Richard yelled. This is insane. Look at them go! Eric laughed, recording. Ambryelle spun away, letting Jordan catch her, then pressed back close, teasing and daring. Think you can keep up? She whispered, playful. Try me, Jordan grinned low. Their laughter and movement were suddenly interrupted by a crash from the other side of the room. You think you can just... Jeff shouted, shoving Matt. Back off, Jeff! Matt shoved back. A brawl erupted, fists flying, drinks spilling, partygoers scrambling to get out of the way. The music became chaos, the lights strobing over the shouting and shoving. Ambryelle froze, eyes narrowing as something in the shadows caught her attention. The scene cut sharply to the field of shadows, the unseen layer overlapping the party. Two demons lurked, their forms twisting in the darkness. Look at them. The chaos draws them out, Dean whispered eagerly. Ah, fun, fear, temptation. Perfect, lust coiled, sly. Ambryelle's eyes flickered, noticing the shadows creeping at the edges of the fight. She nudged Jordan slightly. Jordan, look, she said, low, concerned. He glanced around, catching only the human chaos, but felt the shift in her tension. The demons hissed and began to retreat as the fight escalated, recognizing that their interference would bring unwanted attention. Are you okay? Jordan asked, concerned. Ambryelle smiled, a little shaken but still composed. She leaned up and pressed a quick, soft kiss to his lips. Yeah, I'm fine. I just think I need to get home. Even if it's a weekend, it's been a long week, she said softly, teasing. Jordan wrapped an arm around her, steadying her as the crowd around them scrambled, party energy mixing with real tension. All right, let's get out of here, he said firmly, gentle. Ambryelle nodded, smiling faintly, and allowed him to guide her toward the door, the chaotic energy of the party behind them and the unseen spiritual currents lingering in the shadows. Scene, Jay's house, living room. Night. The living room at Jay's house was quiet, but the tension was thick enough to slice with a knife. Grandma Darlene stood near the front window, phone pressed to her ear, irritation sharpening into worry. Jordan, if you don't answer that phone, I will call the law. Don't play with me. Call me back, she said sharply. The call went straight to voicemail. She pulled the phone away, staring at it as if it had personally offended her. Not tonight, she muttered. Jay paced near the couch, restless. His phone buzzed in his hand. A photo loaded, and his breath caught. A text from Lexi glowed on the screen. So, you like what you see? The way you grabbed me tonight, baby. I can't stop thinking about you. Jay stiffened, jaw tight. You've got to be kidding me, he muttered under his breath. He looked away, conflicted. The temptation flickered, unwanted but real. His thumbs hovered, then typed, I was just trying to get you to leave. How did you even get my number? Almost immediately, another message appeared. Sweetie, after tonight, I think I got more than your number. And I like games, Jay. Careful, or we're going to start a fire. Jay locked the phone, exhaling sharply, rubbing his face. I don't need this, he whispered. Grandma Darlene narrowed her eyes, not at the phone, but at the air itself. Something is off tonight. I feel it in my spirit, she said. Jay swallowed, uneasy. Meanwhile, in the field of shadows, the living room was twisted and dim, vibrating with unseen pressure. Stephen stood calmly, watching Jay like prey. Dean lingered nearby, uneasy. Lexi, you're exactly what I need, Stephen said, a thin smile curling his lips. Dean shifted. This wasn't my fault. That was Jezebel. Stephen turned slowly, his smile sharpening. I don't want excuses. You and Jezebel got me in hot water. He chuckled darkly. Or should I say she did? Dean bristled. You laughing about this? Oh, absolutely, Stephen said, gesturing toward Jay below. Ashley didn't break the way we wanted. She asked for help. That changed the board. His eyes narrowed, calculating. But Lexi, she doesn't pray. She plays. Dean hesitated. Satan knows about this? Of course not, Stephen said, amused. Dean stiffened. Stephen cut him off. Heaven runs on authority. Hell runs on fear. He stepped closer, voice low, dangerous. I run on results. Dean swallowed. You're doing this without permission. Exactly, Stephen said with a wider smile, eyes flicking back to Jay. Temptation hovered inches from choice. Let's see what kind of fire she starts. I'm not going to let him and Selena get close. Dean asked cautiously, what about this girl? Shannon? Stephen barely reacted. Don't worry, let them play their game for now. She's a wild card, and the last thing we need is another one of those. A beat passed, but for now, we'll see how it goes. The shadows rippled, not victorious, but scheming. Above them, unseen, heaven was already watching. Back inside, Jay's phone buzzed again. He exhaled, annoyed, and checked it. A video message from Lexi appeared. Jay immediately looked away and flipped the phone face down. "You're crazy. I don't know why you're sending me pictures and videos like this," he typed quickly. Another message popped up. "Oh, Jay, don't act like you don't like it." Jay ran a hand through his hair, tense. "This isn't okay. You know I'm dealing with a lot right now." "Exactly. You've got all this tension." "Let me help you," the next message read. Jay stared at the screen, jaw tight, tempted, angry, conflicted. Grandma Darlene paced, phone in hand. "If you don't answer your phone, I'm calling the law. I am not playing tonight." She jabbed at her screen, about to dial. The front door opened. Jordan stepped inside, slightly out of breath. Grandma Darlene froze, then slowly lowered the phone and turned to him. "Oh, so now you decide to come home," she said. Jordan swallowed. "Grandma, What have you been out here doing, laying out all night?" she snapped, looking him up and down, unimpressed. "Phone dead. No answers. You think I don't know what time it is?" "I was just—" Jordan started. "Just what?" she interrupted, holding up the phone. "Because I was this close to calling the cops." Jordan exhaled, knowing he had barely missed it. Grandma Darlene pointed toward the hallway. "Go sit down. We're about to have a conversation." Jordan nodded and walked further into the house as she followed, still shaking her head. The tension didn't drop. It settled, heavy and unyielding. Scene. Michelle's house, Michelle's room, night. Shannon sat on the edge of Michelle's bed, phone pressed to her ear. Her shoulders were tense. On speaker, Shannon's mom's voice was heated. "You think you cute? You think you grown?" Shannon winced. "Mom, I was just—" she tried to explain. "Don't you mom me," her mother interrupted sharply. Shannon closed her eyes. "I told you you were not going to Michelle's house. And what do? You defy me." Michelle leaned against her dresser, arms crossed, rolling her eyes. "First you embarrass me at that school, then you disobey me like I don't exist," her mother continued. Shannon swallowed hard. "I wasn't trying to embarrass you. I am not going to let you run around out here like Michelle does," her mother said. Michelle's jaw tightened. She muttered under her breath, barely audible, "Wow." She rolled her eyes again, thinking to herself if she knew what her daughter was really doing, she'd die. Shannon stared at the floor, silent now. "You're grounded, Shannon. We'll finish this when you get home," her mother said, and the call ended. The room fell quiet. Michelle watched her cousin carefully, concern cutting through her attitude. The tension lingered, heavy and unresolved. Scene, Jay's house. Living room. Night. Grandma Darlene stood in the living room, arms crossed, eyes locked on Jordan, who leaned against the wall, trying to look casual. Jay sat on the couch, glancing between them. "Jordan, what have you been doing out there? You shouldn't be out partying at this hour. Not at your age, not under my roof," she said. "I was just hanging out, Grandma." Jordan tried to shrug it off. "Hanging out and you let your phone die? Do you know how worried we were? Have you been drinking?" she asked, studying him. Jordan shifted awkwardly, scratching the back of his neck. "No, Grandma, nothing like that." "Well, I don't want any more surprises. You're home now. That's good. But you better think twice before disappearing like that again." Jay watched quietly, suppressing a grin, sensing the classic Grandma Darlene hard time energy, and maybe a little relief that it wasn't aimed at him. "And Jordan, let's keep it honest. I raised you better than to sneak around and test my patience," she said, pausing to scan the room, noticing Jay on the couch. "It's bad enough I come home and walk in on Jay and Shannon," she added. Jordan blinked, looking at Jay in surprise. "Wait, what?" Jay shifted in his seat, trying not to laugh, while Grandma Darlene's eyes narrowed, clearly expecting answers from both of them. "I don't find anything funny," she said. Scene, Jordan and Ambryelle. Early morning hours. Ambryelle stalked back and forth across her room, nerves prickling like static under her skin. The memory of that one night with him, too wild, too good, too wrong, still throbbed through her like an echo she couldn't shake. Then, click, a pebble tapped her window, her breath snagged. She crossed the room with slow, wary steps, peeled back the curtain and unlatched the window. Cold night air rushed in, carrying the scent of smoke, and there he was, Jordan. Standing in her yard like a sin come back to collect its due, cigarette smouldering between his lips, eyes locked on hers with that dangerous calm that always made her knees go soft. She let out a shaky sigh. "Jordan, what the hell are you doing here? You're supposed to be home." He inhaled, slow, hungry, then exhaled a ribbon of smoke into the night. "Home's boring," he said, another smirk. "You're not." Her pulse hammered. She opened her mouth to argue, but he was already moving, climbing. Boots scraping against the balcony rail, shoulders, muscles, shadowed angles slipping through her window like he'd done it 1,000 times. He perched on the sill, cigarette glowing like a wicked star. Smoke curled around him as if it worshipped him. Ambryelle's pulse trembled. Seeing him again was the last thing she expected, and the last thing she could handle. "Jordan, you shouldn't be here. You need to go," she said, soft, breathy. He tilted his head, gaze trailing down her body like a touch. Slow drag, slow exhale, a smile that promised trouble. "Sweetheart, your mouth is lying, your body's screaming, stay." She backed up, but he followed, cat-like, controlled, a predator tracking its favorite weakness. Her spine hit the edge of the bed, her breath hitched. Jordan's hand shot out, fingers wrapping around her wrist, firm, warm, inevitable. He pulled her down onto the mattress with him, hovering, his knee sliding between hers just enough to make her breath break. His voice dropped to something dark and velvet smooth. "If you want me gone, say the word." His lips brushed her jawline without touching. Silence. Hot. Electric. Dangerous. Ambryelle's heart betrayed her first, then her lips. She grabbed his collar and kissed him hard, teeth, heat, desperation and longing all tangled together, because she knew she'd never send him away. Not when he tasted like every mistake she wanted to make twice. Not when he still felt like home and ruin all at once. His hands slid to her waist, claiming, reminding her exactly who used to own her nights. In that breathless, sinful moment, Ambryelle knew she wasn't just falling back into him. She was surrendering.
When the world points fingers, quick to judge and demand, and your knees grow weak, you feel no place to stand. I lift my eyes upward, your guidance is near. You whisper through heartache, child, I am here. Every cruel word, every wound, every scar, you remind me there's healing beyond where we are. Jesus, protector of hearts, you hold us close when the shadows start, when sinners push and storms roar high. You reach through the darkness, the clouds, the sky, you show hope blooms where the hurting begins. Your mercy runs deeper than all of our sins. So I raise my hands, for your love sets me free. You're the protector of hearts, and your light outshines the night I see. secret stands, claiming right over wrong. Your truth stands steady, like an unbroken song. You guide without forcing, you guard every door. You are close beside us, now and then.